thanks for joining us. Considerable expertise, that is what is needed for every sphere of endeavor. If you want to succeed, it means you have to brace the odds to make sure that your ideas and your revolution is up to speed. But how do you do it? And we're here to speak to a gentleman who has made sure that for all the years of experience in entrepreneurship business, as well as making sure that he impacts in the lives of many people, he's also making sure that his ideas are impactful, not only in his community, but also the country Ghana. He just won the elections for Greater Accra to have a seat or a place on the Council of State. And we're here today to speak to Dr. Dzanie. Well, I have him here with you. And how are you, sir? And a very good morning to you.
Good morning. Thank you very much.
Okay. But I know you just won the elections on the Council of State. What may have motivated you to contest at all?
What motivated to go for this election is that over the years, I've realized that the Ghana state has no strong voice in the national affair. And I'm of the view that we need to get a stronger voice. And so after consultation with the chiefs and the people, I've decided to take up the challenge and contest for the election.
Does it mean that perhaps because it's an era of an MPP period, you are more aligned to the MPP than you would be to the NDC, or perhaps either of the two?
No, not at all. I mean, I'm not political. I don't belong to any political party. I don't think there's any political party that can say that I am their member or I've ever campaigned for anybody. Yes, I have friends in all political parties. I have friends in the CPP. I have friends in the NDC. I have friends in the MPP and others. So I'm not political.
It's a very interesting position, especially being on the Council of State. We know that the Council of State, according to what the Constitution says, should play advisory role to the President. Do you think that the Council of State has any relevance at all? Is it relevant in our national development?
Well, let me say that by the grace of God, we have 3 ex-presidents in this country. Ex-President Lawrence, ex-President Kufuor, and ex-President Mahama. I think they will be in the best position to tell you or to tell us as a country how relevant the Council of State is or is not. Because they have been presidents and they have been counseled by the Council of State. The Council of State helped them to take certain decisions. And now they are in the position to tell us how relevant it is or how relevant it's not. It is not for anybody to say how relevant, because you are not the one who is taking advice. You are not sitting there in the seat of a president to steer the affairs of this country, and you don't know what goes on in taking decisions. I think the 3 of them, I think they will help this country if they can come and clarify that.
Well, so it's good. So you're just there to represent the views and the objectives and the people of Gadangbe.
That's correct.
What do you think critically, as a region and as a people, really face the people of Gadangbe?
You know, the Gadangbe state, let me say that being the national capital have been placed in some disadvantage for many years. And over the years, governments failed to appreciate the very difficulty we find ourselves as people. Now, in all regions and all traditional areas where you have natural resources like gold, like timber, the laws provide that you pay loyalty to the chiefs and the people or the landowners. What is our natural resources also the Ghana West? Maybe the sea. But yet government use our sea to create harbor, take our land and addition to it, and don't pay us loyalty. I thought that's fair. We take our land from airports, we generate so much revenue, government will not pay us any loyalty. Our lands have taken to provide accommodation for MPs, for ministers of state, for government officials, for the seat of government, for ministries. Don't pay us any royalty. And so we find ourselves in a very difficult aspect. Not only that, some of you have come to Accra and you are buying land to put up your houses. And so you eventually force the people out of their land. We are sitting here in Nigeria now. Nigeria used to be a farmland for the Nwa people. Today it all tends to be metal and iron rods. It is not the people. It's not because my people have disgraced themselves so much that they said they're lying. That's some people want to proclaim. No, it's not true. They are forced out of their land. And so these are some of the things that I think that I want to rally the people in the Gandama state for us to talk to government and see how our people can also be compensated.
How do you think that you can deepen the role, especially of consultation between the traditional leaders on one side, the people, interest groups, of course, the elite of the Gadangbe, to make sure you forge a certain consensus and an objective to achieve what you intend to?
Thank you, I think that I've been doing this for some time now. First of all, you need to be a unifier. The people must see you of not having a stand on political issues. The political issue here, not political party issues. I mean, even chieftaincy issues. Because chieftaincy is close to everybody's heart. And so over the years, I'm able to bring some of the chiefs. Let me say that for the past 1 year, we met like 3-4 times with the chiefs of Gandangwe State, trying to see how best we can resolve the Gandangwe problem. Let me say that the Gamacha chieftaincy, for example, have worked so hard in resolving that issue. Though we are still not able to resolve it, I think we are almost close to resolving it, and we should be able to resolve it.
Well, we'll see how that goes with you. But as far as that is concerned, we know that education has remained critical for the fundamental development of human resource across the world. And it's always said that without education, you can't reach higher heights or even average objectives. That also means, if you look at statistics from the statistical surveys and what they compile, that a chunk of the Ghanaian youth don't have access to education. Is that a worry for you?
It's a very worry to every way taken individual in the Gandama state. And you see, our people are not, because of this problem I mentioned earlier, because some of our people cannot afford to pay school fees. It's a worry. So we have to come out with the policy interventions, economic policy interventions, to arrest some of these problems. And that's what I'm talking about. Look, the same thing. Look, it's a big problem. And, government, maybe, is not seeing the problem. They are not seeing that people in Choko and Bokum and Ada and others are not going to school. And we have to make policy interventions. I mean, and so it's a problem. But I know with God, all things are possible. And we should be able to resolve these issues.
Over the last 12 years, and I've been in the media for some time now, you get to hear the political parties at each of the campaign periods or the electioneering say, we have the Accra Plains, you go beyond Pram, Ada, etc. They are going to have vast plantations of crops, etc. But it's never get realized. How do you think we need to harness such potential?
I wonder if the Accra Plains can ever be turned into agricultural district. Because look, so if you drive now from, and I go to Ada almost every week, if you drive now from Papa, you are going. Previous, look, 10 years ago, when you are driving, the whole place is empty. You don't see any house, you don't see. Now, if you are driving, you see warehouses, you see houses. Now, from Dowenya to Chopoli, straight, if you are going, you see houses. It's
virtually turned into property.
Yes, so I think it's difficult. I don't think that I don't see that one coming. I don't see it coming.
It also means that then Accra, because there's a capital and then now transcending into the region, Greater Accra, is becoming more cosmopolitan.
Exactly.
So how about just relinquishing the objective that you have to fight for whatever resources there are and say, because you're cosmopolitan, it belongs to everybody?
No place. I mean land. I don't know what course you did at school, but Saba, the famous Saba lawyer, Kingsley Hayford, actually Kingsley Hayford once said that the land belonged to the dead, the living, and the unborn. And it belongs to the people, the landowners. I mean, you can't say that we're in a class where our land belongs to everybody. No. No.
Because it's a cosmopolitan.
No, please. It doesn't happen anywhere in the world. Just the landowners are there. And that's the problem we face. That everybody come here and the person buys a small piece of land and the person thinking he owns a land in Accra. No. They're landowners. Look, so where do we go? With the Ganga people, where do we go? So we don't belong anywhere? Is that what you're trying to tell me? We don't belong anywhere? No, I think that's not.
Well, so now you're a member of the Council of State. And once you are an elected member, it means that the president's own objectives and the government's objectives of making sure that its policies, or for example, providing free SHS to people, are adequately met. What do you think of the idea in itself, free SHS, and whether as a country we can even meet some of those policies?
I think you rightly said that as a member of council. I think as a member of council, I don't have opinion on national policies. My opinion on national policies I discuss in a particular cycle, which is confidential. So I don't think I'm in a position to comment on that one.
What do you think, crucially, confronts the entrepreneur based on your experiences and your background in Ghana?
Well, entrepreneurs in Ghana, we face a lot of difficulties, and one of them is high capital interest. Access to capital is very difficult. I mean, it's very difficult to get loans. I run financial institutions, so I think I'm in a very good position to talk about this. Interest rate is so high, and so you have a little money you put in the business, and the business is it's not doing well, and instead of you to get access to capital and do it, it's not working. Again, one of the problems is that our mentality as a people, we don't like joint ventures. We don't like bringing people on board. Somebody says, this idea I have, and the person has a business, and he or she doesn't have the necessary capital, and instead of him to bring somebody on board to bring in money, so the person doesn't want because he wants to have control and all that. So it's a whole lot of a problem facing the entrepreneur. But let me say that for some time now, you see we are having great entrepreneurs coming up in this country, and I believe that if we move the direction we are moving, it will be okay. But another problem also is that in all civilized society, building entrepreneurs is a deliberate effort. So government must come with policy to support indigenous businesses. You see, so when you make deliberate effort to support indigenous businesses, in 30, in 50 years, you have all the big institutions in your country that will part positively. In this country, since the time of independence, we are providing tax holiday for foreign companies. And those foreign companies come and they compete with local companies. How do the local companies survive? I think that as a people, we have to look at what legacy we are leaving for our children.
So in other words, you're saying that for businesses that fall into a certain category, or entrepreneurs who are undertaking businesses in a certain category, they also need to make sure they are at par with whatever, as far as the incentivized levels are.
Look, I am not interested in the incentive. I'm saying that all tax holidays should be taken off completely. Let us all compete. Look, we are not saying that Ghanaian entrepreneurs, and I'm sure that I'm talking to all the entrepreneurs in this country because we think the same way, more or less. We are not interested in government giving us handouts. What we are interested in, we say that we want the foreign company coming to compete with us at the same level. Look, we think we have the capability. We think we have what it takes to compete with any company anyway. You understand that? So they should take the tax holidays and let's see how those so-called foreign companies will compete with us. And I can assure you that you see that Ghanaian companies will do very well.
All over the world, entrepreneurship and the businesses that come thereof and the inventions are usually based on research and the training given to human resource. You find that virtually in Ghana, research is absent, and the critical resource that you need, human resource you need, is also absent. How do you think we need to develop that?
With a human resource, I don't think I will agree with you on it so much. I think that we have great human resource in this country and potential. I think that what we lack, and I agree with you in terms of the research, and therefore strongly on government. Because no individual can do that. Government, that's why I say that it's a deliberate effort. Government must make deliberate effort to look, we want to build local indigenous businesses. And in order to build local indigenous businesses, we have to have a institution that will focus on research into agriculture, into mines, into all aspects of our economy. So that based on that research, it can inform decision what kind of policy and economic interventions you make. And it can also inform investors and entrepreneurs which area they should be looking at. You know what's happening in this country?
Tell me.
I don't know whether you remember when mobile to mobile came, MTN.
You mean space to space?
Space to space. I remember space to space. Thank you very much. You know, when it's the space to space, if you go everywhere, there's space to space. You want microfinance came? Everybody is in microfinance. So people don't even know the opportunities. So they just want to see and see, oh, this person is doing this and is doing well, and everybody is rushing to it. And it's because of lack of research institutions that will actually focus. And I tell people that, look, in the next 20 years, mango exports, I mentioned mango. You remember mango? When I go, because oh, there was mango export. Everywhere it goes, everybody start planting mango trees in their homes, pineapple and all that. So we are not there. And it's not because the people want to do something, but they don't know what is there to be done. So we need to have those research institutions that can actually assist people in making those decisions.
When it comes to the point about assisting businesses, I have noticed, for example, in the US, they have huge defense companies. They build huge weapons. The weapons always get sold out. They are not brought down when the next government changes. But in Ghana, in Africa, there's a change of government. Some entrepreneur will have to take a flak, perhaps either because they feel they are not aligned, etc. How do we deliberately perhaps do that kind of assistance? So even if there's a change of government, nobody tends to suffer, but we have the development of the whole.
It's also because of the way we do business in this country. You see, there are sometimes we put our blames on successive government. Oh, that this government have come and this business have collapsed and this government have come and this. Look, there were businesses that survived under Rawlings, under Kufuor, under Mills, under President Mahama, and of course, business will survive under President Akufo-Addo. I don't want us to always think that because there's a change of government business. Some of the businesses, entrepreneurs too, are not genuine. They are not honest with the state. And so they do things, and that if a new government comes, the government want to clean. And but yes, having said that, also there's also the dictator also aspect, also there with government that are trying to think that this businessman was so aligned with this government, and so we have to. And the reason be that, you see, when you are a businessman, every government, you have to align with the government. You know, we are living in a country that if you are a businessman, look, watch and see whether how many businesses will now say that we belong to the NDC. Every business now say that we are part of the NPP. And businesses are not able to do because they are afraid of the consequence of the bet. So I think the political leaders should also look at it. And once we begin to say, well, it doesn't matter whether you belong here or there, once you provide job, once you are doing the right thing, you have to survive. And of course, the Ghanaians have a right to survive. Then that problem will also be solved. But let me also say that things are improving for the past few years when you see businesses, we don't experience what we experienced in some time ago. So I believe that President Akufo-Addo would deepen that much, because he keep on saying that he's going to work with the private sector. And so if you are going to work with the private sector, I don't see how they are going to destroy other businesses and just because they don't belong. I don't think it happened. I don't think that story is entirely true.
I see. You have ventured into an area of businesses, and entrepreneurs around the world, that's what they do. They're erratic, they take decisions on impulse, they see further decades down the line than the ordinary person. What do you think that makes you identify what you have to identify as a business opportunity than what the ordinary person sees?
No, let me say that entrepreneur is always hungry for something. And I want to make this statement here that if you see an entrepreneur who wants to make money, then he's not an entrepreneur. If you see an entrepreneur who has a business with so much asset, is not expanding, then that person is not an entrepreneur. Entrepreneur is always hungry of expansion. Entrepreneur is always hungry in creating jobs. What entrepreneur is interested is not how much profit I make, but how many businesses I own and how many people have employed. So you see that people go into business, and when they make their first money, their first profit, instead of they putting their business for the business to expand, they put in their pocket because they are not entrepreneurs. They are businessmen, perhaps. I don't know. I think they are businessmen. They want to make money. What informed my decision is that I always look at what will happen in the next 5 to 10 years to this business, to that business, and then what will be as a security to that business. And so that helped me to take position. And of course, let me also say that I have a strong research team that look at our businesses, that look at the economy, and they do a lot of forecasts for us. And that also helped me in taking decisions.
At the end of the day, is that the businesses need to survive. But if you look at the current macro and microeconomic environment, it doesn't look like businesses are competitive enough. There's equitable access to the various resources, etc. What do you think of the current state of the economy?
The economy is improving. Let me say, look, in every economy there are opportunities. Now, some people are complaining that the dollar, the cedi is not behaving well. The dollar is, look, this is a time for you to do exports. It's a time for you to do export. So for me, I'm not the one who look at the economy and complain and lament. I don't do that at all. I look at what are the opportunities available in this economy, and I take a decision. I think we have a good economy. The economy is strong. Look, the most important for every business that nobody harasses you into your business. And so I think we have it. I think we have it all in Ghana. Apart from to say that your interest rates are high and all that, and the consumer suffer at the end of it. Look, no entrepreneur suffer because interest rate is high, because you pass on to the consumer. And so we complain about things that they don't exist. I must be honest with you. I think that we need to take up the challenge. And you see, there are some times that we also build businesses for ourselves, not for the future generation. But once you take a decision that I'm building this business, I know that I'm not going to make money in the next 5 years, 10 years, but in the next 30 years, 40 years, you are not disturbed with the current economic environment because you are looking into the future. That's what I encourage my colleague entrepreneurs to look at. Look, a lot of businesses are doing. My brother Jospon is doing so well. I know quite a number of businesses are doing well. The four is doing so well, and others. But others are expanding. So I don't really believe in that.
China decided to keep themselves shut for 20, 30 years. By the time they opened themselves to the world, they wowed everybody, even the biggest of the economies in the world. How do you think we need to undertake business and the way we run the economy in such a way that as a people we will cherish what we have and what comes from our businesses locally, patronization, etc.?
Well, China can do the kind of things that they also did because they have the numbers. You see, once you have the numbers, I think China, over 1 billion people now, and so with such a economy, even if you shut your borders for everybody, you can stay trade among yourself, you're comfortable. I don't think that we can do that one. What I think we can, however, do is that some of the things that we have comparative advantage, I think that we should take advantage of it. Every economy fundamentals are different. And you cannot watch another economic fundamental and say you want to do the same. The way America developed, the way Europe developed, or even the way China developed, we cannot do the same. I think we have our own economic fundamentals and we have to take advantage of.
Well, we have to leave it. We know you're a busy man. We have about 5 to 7 minutes for us to wrap up. But let's look at the sub-region. If we don't have the numbers, it means we have to look beyond the sub-region.
That's correct.
Of course, we have Dangote, who is the richest man, the biggest billionaire in Africa, but has tried as much as possible to expand into other economies in the sub-region. Is it always when you have the capital that you can do that, or you can do that through other innovative means?
Oh no, certainly you need a capital. I mean, your capital is key in a business expansion. Capital is, you may have the best of the idea, but if you don't have the necessary capital to expand, you cannot expand. But I think that business also go beyond capital. And I always want to use my example that I started my business with 37,000. And that 37,000 have grown to over 1 billion cities. So you don't, it's not all the time that capital matters. I think you have to have deliberate, you must make a deliberate effort to expand. And that includes you bringing other people to join you. Have a solid management. The best asset of every company is the human resource. If you have the best of people, the sky will be the limit. And I think that we in Ideal, that's work for us. We have the best of brains in this country. And that costs us so much money at the initial stage. Because look, you believe it, when we started, we employed people from the banks. And who cannot believe that? So why you employ people from the bank to? I remember when I employed my first lawyer, that there were only 5, and the 6th person was a lawyer, and he had like 10 years at the bar at the time. And my contemporary couldn't understand. Say, why do you have to employ a lawyer? But they understand what we're doing. You know, so you need to, if you have the best brains, I'm sure that you just need a small capital to move. You don't need capital in all.
So let's spend the last few minutes, I believe 3 or so minutes, and speak about Ideal Group. Yeah. And it's just metamorphosed into almost like the replica of China we're talking about. And all of a sudden you've blossomed. What was the dream and how is it for the future?
The future is that within the next few years, you will see Ade moving international. We are looking at, we are trying to open offices in other parts of the world. We have just registered business in the UK, and we are about to commence operation in the UK, and we are trying to go to Nigeria and other parts of Africa. Now let me say that we don't compare ourselves with what happened in this country. And that's also one of the problems of a Ghanaian entrepreneur. He achieves small thing, and he thinks that's the end. Look, let me tell you something. When you make 100 million cities, your asset is 100 million cities in this country. You are a very big company, isn't it?
Yes, you are. I do.
Okay. Yeah. That comes to how much in dollars?
Around 25 million.
Yeah, so when you go to the UK or you go to the US and you say you own $25 million company, who are you?
Well, that's used to buy a player in West Ham.
Yeah. So you are not close, but that's what happened in this country. So in Ideal, we don't see ourselves now. Now we want to compare ourselves to Morgan Stanley or any of those businesses. And so once we are not there, we have to be fighting till we get there. And that's the vision.
And we also know that you are the youngest to be elected on the Council of State. And as we wrap up, tell us how that makes you feel and how historic we all know that also is.
Thank you very much. Humble. Yes, I'm made to understand that I'm the youngest to ever serve on the Council of State, 60 years of independence. And so that one should carry the youth and should tell everybody in this country that the time of the era of the youth has come. And so we have to take up the challenge around this country.
And we're 60 years as a country. You think that it's worth saying that we've achieved what we have, but we could have done better?
I don't think we are doing bad as a country, but I think that we can still do better.
Well, we wish you all the best.
Thank
and
you.
Thanks for joining us, sir.
Thank you very much.
So we've been speaking to the youngest to be elected onto the Council of State of the Republic of Ghana, Dr. Dzanie. He's the president of Group Ideal. Many companies under the group, but more importantly, great ideas that he has and great people that he works with. Well, thanks for joining us for this edition. But you can always get interactive on Facebook. We're streaming live on our page, Join Us on TV. We've connected up to our Twitter handle at Join Us on TV, and you can always catch us always there, because on my Joy Online TV, which is a channel on YouTube, you can catch us there and watch the excerpt of this interview with Dr. Dzanie. We have to take a break. We have a lot more on the show.